Right, so here we are in an attempt to build a Fleischmann 6476 3-lane engine shed. This kit is 29 years old. All the bits are there, I hope. It's supposed to be, well, it's as new condition. And got all the instructions. Instructions are in, easy to follow, very well done, very nice drawings. Quite nice. So there we go. Off the person I bought it off, this must have been put in there many years ago. Whether it's any good or not, I don't know. It looks a really old tube. Plastic cement glue, poly. With a fine tip. Wow. That's a blast from the past. I've not used that for a long time. I won't be using this though. On the door sections, you've got to make sure you might have to file the little edges, these little cutouts, so the doors open and close nicely. You've got to take great care not to glue the wrong parts of the door, otherwise the doors will not open. So the pivot open, got a little slot there, so you got to make sure this goes on. Don't glue it first, just place it in position. See if you can line it up. There's little notches on the back which line up. Tiny notches. Bit fiddly, but that's nearly working, but it does need a bit of an adjustment on the plastic, but that's okay. Right, so I've assembled the inner balancing mechanism and put a bit of tape at the back to stop it pushing the doors forward right in the back areas here, and I've put a small amount of tape on the front to stop those pegs slipping out on the front doors when you try and put the top lintel in, which I'm going to try and do now. Got those locating holes, 6 of them, then you've got to line up the lintel as well, which is, it's not an easy task this. Right, well I've managed to get the doors lined up with the lintel. It's really difficult to do. It's really tricky. I suppose once you've built one of these it becomes easier and easier, but the doors are worked on counterbalances. It's quite clever the way it's done. But anyway, you've got to make sure you do not get glue on the hinges of the doors, otherwise the door mechanisms will not work. But anyway, that's a bit stiff, that one. It's not great, that. But the door, what happens is the engine will open the doors as it comes out. That one's okay. That one's alright. In fact, they're not bad. they're not realistic. But what happens is when the engine comes out, it pushes it, and then when it goes in, it pushes up against the bar with the buffers at the other end, and that shuts the door. And it works, but obviously it's not realistic. So to make it realistic, you've got to use servos. But to tell you the truth, I think I don't really want to mess with it too much. I mean, you don't have to have that door mechanism, and you can just do away with that if you want to take all this plastic mechanism out, and you could just have it as looking into the shed with the roofs off, say, just to see the detail on the inside. But yeah, I had to stop building it because I couldn't get the roof on. The roof would just not line up. It was driving me nuts until I studied all the parts again, and what happened was I put these metal truss systems in the wrong way around, and it meant there was a bit of a recess on the front in between the doors. I thought nothing of it when I was building it, but when it comes to put roof on, you just cannot get the roof on. It's slightly out of alignment and it won't go on straight. So I had to completely take the model apart and basically rebuild it, swap these around, which was really awkward. But anyway, I've done it, put it back together again. The doors went on a lot easier this time, and of course I put tape on the automatic hinge mechanism to make it easier to put the lintel on. Right, it's nearly there now. Everything is lined up perfectly now. I mean, it's a great kit. It's just I was rushing doing it before, building it. I was in a bit of a rush doing it, which you should never rush when you're doing stuff like this. And I don't know why I was rushing, because I've got nowhere to go. Right, so put on the chimneys. Probably will weather this up as well. I've made the roof so the roof can take off the centre part of the roof if I need to get to any locos or do any other bits. Right, so there's a finished item. Well, I've got the accessories to put on the side, but I'm not fitting them yet. And yeah, it needs weathering and some paint, more paint effects putting on the building to make it look less plasticky. Just finished putting those drain pipe sections on. And yeah, really happy. Goes together nice. Again, you just got to be careful on certain parts of the model so you don't get any parts mixed up, because then that's what happened to me. I had to reassemble it, take it apart and reassemble it again. But I've done it so the roof can come off. We got access to the inside, and you can see the Fleischmann track segments that go inside. They just slot in designated lengths of Fleischmann track, and it holds them in place. And at the other end you got like a mini sort of counterweight that pushes the door open. When the loco goes in full, it'll push the doors shut, it'll close the doors, and then when it comes out the loco just pushes up against the doors and they open on a counterbalance. like that. So when there's no locos in there, they're open all the time. So yeah, it's a nice kit. I'll just show you roughly where I'm going to put it on the layout. But as you can see, all my locos are all scattered all over the place. This is where the engine shed. I've taken 3 lanes off the turntable, and I'm going to put the engine shed there. That's where it's going to go. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with that. I'm going to make a bit more space on the turntable. I'm going to have some more interesting features on the layout. Sorry, on the turntable. So just need to manipulate all the groundworks for this area. So I need to adjust all that. The tracks will just directly connect up to the designated angles, and then I can put some lights in the shed. Might put a welder in there, I don't know. That's roughly how it's going to go. That's it for now. Until next video.